Greetings, everyone. You're watching MOI, and this is your grand, amazing host, Reed. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate everyone who comes by to watch. It's actually kind of scary that people actually watch these crazy videos, but people actually leave comments and they say, hey, this is enjoyable. Keep making them. So here I am again with another oddball video. Crazy guy, aren't I? Now, I've got a shout out, which I'm actually remembering to do in the beginning of the video today. And today I'm going to shout out a bigger channel and a guy I actually really like. And if you haven't heard of him, I don't know how you found my channel, but if you hadn't heard of him and you're on my channel, tell me, how in the heck did you find my channel? I'd really be curious to know. But this guy, which link will be up here, is Serious Survivor. I like his videos. He talks about all sorts of stuff. He's got a real good Southern accent, which is quite enjoyable. Good gravelty to the voice. Brings a good gravitas to the situation at hand. And it's enjoyable. The other thing is also he does a good in-depth explanation of things and talks about things. He had a real good breakdown of gas mass at one point, which I found very helpful in picking out one for myself and for Lee, and some other components along with it. And I like his take and stuff like that. He's also had a real good one recently about Civil War, and it's worth a good check out. In fact, I'll actually put another link to that specific video up here. So go take a look at it. Now I'm actually going to do a very deep dive discussion on Civil War that is going to be sort of a take other people aren't doing. But hopefully we will get that up very soon. It's just taking a while to put it all together. Now today, I am going to talk about something immensely amazing. If you want a tool that can squish things better than anything else, wonderfully amazing handling small wire to large wire and giving you the best possible electrical connection possible, this thing is for you. It has 14 tons of power, and this is it. The massive Husky Crimper. Now this is the thing I'm talking about here. It is a crimping tool to crimp wire lugs onto electrical wire. Now this tool is not your average tool. You don't see places generally have these. You don't see people usually using these things. All right, they're a bit different. But this dates back to the days when I did stuff as an electrician. I know, I've had a lot of odd jobs and did all sorts of things, so I eventually ended up doing what I do these days. But I keep up with a lot of the skills because, well, they can be really, really useful. So like that. Now, I'm not saying rush out and buy this. This is a video to sort of educate you guys, to tell you how these kind of things work, what's going on, and stuff like that. Today, we're particularly interested in making some cables for batteries. Now this tool can make UL listed, fully safety standard, and all that other cables without any problem. You just need the appropriate dies, UL listed connectors, and blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm just doing simple off-grid battery cables for a project I'm putting together, and I will be showing you guys soon. But I thought I'd show you guys what this thing does and explain it a bit. I think it would be a good education experience. It can also tell you why, if you go ask about certain things, if you're going to go shopping and say, asking about these connectors and all this stuff, and you want to know what's involved, you might spot some red flags and go, well, these are priced like the premium connectors, but they don't have this other feature. And be a good thing to say, yeah, I don't want that. And that's good. Education is very, very helpful. Now for us oddballs out there that actually did electrical work and all that other stuff, we have these crazy tools. And so when we get interested in doing stuff like that, we're like, well, give me the wire, give me the lugs. I'll get stuff cut, measured to spec, engineered exactly the way I want it. That's just how I am. Weird, crazy Reed again. All right, now let's get to the main point. And yes, this darn thing is heavy, because it can do up to 750 MCM aluminum wire. And I think 1,000 MCM copper. That's big, big wire. And we will be using some 500 MCM aluminum wire, some other projects later. But anyways, today we're doing something kind of smaller. This is 2-gauge welding wire. Means it's fine stranded copper. Okay. Now this stuff is not UL listed. I'm doing something for off-grid things, random weird purpose. Doesn't need to be UL listed. So I just got some generic stuff. I mean, this would be something you also use for jumper cables. But in this case, I'm going to make some battery cables to link some batteries together with. And I want these to be 2 feet long a piece. All right. So we just get a measuring tape that I have stolen from Lee's sewing kit. Don't tell her. Anyways, measure this out. All right, where I want. Grab my trusty cutters. Get hold of the wire I want. Snip. All right, we got a cable about 2 feet long. Just what I want. All right, we need to get this stripped. Now, there's a tool here I think is very, very valuable for wire stripping, especially when you are dealing with fine stranded copper cables like this. Stripping these by hand with a razor blade takes immense care. You nick them, you're going to lose a lot of strands. And that can actually be very bad. Also, putting a nick or ring around it makes the connection very brittle, and the thing can just break off in pieces, and then you end up with this giant frayed mess, and then the wire's not conducting as well as it should be, and it's like, ugh, this is horrible. This thing's coming apart. I'll put a link to this in the description. Go check it out. It's like that. These are tools. Now, I am a fan of Greenlee. They're a little more pricey, but they really, really work. I've never had any problem with the brand. So I'm picking a brand because I've had good luck with the brand. There are no names out there that are genetics. There are clones of these things. Feel free to pick one up and try them. Let me know how they work. I'd love to hear about that. This one wasn't too bad. This was, I think, $60. I know that is pretty expensive sometimes for a wire stripper, but this thing strips up to massive, massive cables, okay? And it also means you don't have to worry about it. You just set the depth to the size of the insulation here and go around it. Now, I am going to be putting lugs on the end of this. Let me get you a lug and show what I'm doing. Okay, here's the lug I'm going to be putting on the end of this thing. All right. See, it's copper lug. And we're going to strip the wire so it butts right up against the end there. So we measure out where we want. Get my tool. Line it up. Let me do this a little lower so I can actually do it. See what I'm doing. Okay. So what you do is you lift that up. Okay, just put it on there. Now, go around. Okay, got around. Now, I'm gonna twist this sideways and go like that. Now, what the heck did I just do? Well, I'll show you. Cut the cable lengthwise. And now, I can peel this all off. Now, we have our very fine stranded copper wire out here. I'll try not to abuse it. Twist that back up a little bit. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to put this on the lug and make certain the depth is correct. Yep. I can feel it button up here right against the end of the connector, and the insulation's lining up. That's good. Now I'm going to get the appropriate die to crimp this with my giant 14-ton heavy crusher. Now for these ones, they actually have the color on them, pink. So it's a pink die. And I actually know exactly which one this one is. So here you go. Here's what some of the dies look like. Now this is a burgundy die, and these are one of the newer ones. These ones are pretty nice because this size connector actually takes 2 of the traditional size crimps, and this is actually a double wide crimper, so it gets it. Now I have older dies, and I have a lot of the older dies, especially for the aluminum ones. And unless there's a compelling reason, I don't replace dies. Some of these other ones I bought later for specific sizes and I use them. And that's what I do there. Now some of the other ones I've got Greenlee dies, I've got Ideal dies. They don't actually make those anymore. I just dated myself horribly on that one and stuff. But this is what they look like. They split in half and they get put into the tool. Let's do that. Okay, there's a little lift up here. Take that one out. There's a little piece here. Slide that one out. Now let's put this one in. Line it up. All right, pushing back and forth here to make certain it's locked in place. Do it on the top. All right, now I got what I want. So I'm going to turn the head slightly, get it lined up the way I want. Okay, so let me see if, there we go, you guys can see where I got. Okay, so we have this jaws. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start closing this a little bit. Because I'm a lazy person, and we have loose parts right now. Make certain everything's right. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get this put in here. Get this tight right there, and I'm going to get this, because I am a total OCD nutcase, I want my crimp sort of straight across with the face of the thing, so you can laugh at me there. All right, put a little pressure there. Now it's grabbed it. It's not moving. Real handy. Okay, so we're going to set this down for just a second. Now we have our fine strands copper wire. Cheaply made cables. Take this, put that into the end, and it's crimped in place with some sort of, you know, industrial tool or things like that. Or they have these other ones that make just an indent and crimp them. Not a fan of that. There's something I'm going to add to my cables. I'm going to add oxidation guard. If you saw my other video about power, what I was using the fuse, well, this is brand new connections, and I'm putting that stuff on this. It's not just for aluminum, it's an oxidation guard. And it prevents, you know, if there's water gets in here, so like that, from this start to corroding and making a bad connection. We're adding it. Very, very handy to make it certain cables last a very, very long time, especially in the harshest and most annoying of conditions. So let's put that on there. Now this tube's about out, so let's see how much I can get out of here before I switch over to the other one. I'm just squirting some around and just spreading it across. All right, I got goop all around it. Wonderful. Okay, now what we're gonna do is pick up the massive tool. That's heavy. And I'm gonna put this in here. Oops, let me see what I'm doing here. Now I'm particularly interested to make certain there's no strands that come out of the side and bend around it. I want to make certain everything's in there. So I took a little care, went all around, looked at it, and we're all set. Now what we do is crimp. It makes noise, and it starts going. Now if you're wondering, where do you stop, Reed? Well, what happens is, I'm going to keep going and going. This thing's going to build up to around 14 tons of pressure. At that point, it's going to release, say the crimp is good, and then I just undo it. And it's going to make quite a sound when I do it. Now I'm probably going to have to lay this down to get it done, because it takes a bit of force to do this. All right. All right, it just said I'm done. I'll pull this back up. I rotate the bar, and it releases it. It's not let go, so I have a cable. We now have a crimp done. Let me show you around. Let me see if you can get a good look at this. Okay. All right. So we got a little extra goo. Here, let me get that off. Hey, Ashy Washy. Okay. Here's the cable. All cleaned off. Looking good. Real happy with that. Real good, strong crimp. See, it doesn't come off. Now, what actually goes on in here is with that much pressure applied, it takes all those strands and does a process called cold flowing and forms that into literally a solid mass of copper. It's pretty impressive. it also provides the best electrical connection possible. Amazingly good electrical connections. Far better than solder even. And like when you have those really big, high-powered electrical systems like that, yeah, they're using these kind of tools to make those things. 35,000 volts, 400 amps. This is the kind of stuff they're using. Much bigger wire, much bigger crimps. And you'll get to see some bigger stuff because we're going to handle some high amperage stuff out of some batteries on the solar systems. You can see what I'm talking about. But obviously we're not going to be running at 35,000 volts or 500,000 or something like that. Nope. No, just like that. Now a lot of times you see stores, they have cables. They look like this. The question is, hey, you need to ask, hey, do you guys have, anti-oxidation compound in there? Is it protected? It's like that. Good question to ask. Look at the crimp. See what kind of thing's done in there. See how it looks, how it works. And see if it's, real solid like that. Is it just a single indentation and a slight V on the back? I don't like those ones much. Or is it, a nice uniform round crimp like this? There's a big difference there. And you might think, hey, we're done, right? No, actually not. See this area right here, like I said, it cold flows that around. You got a solid mass of copper there. We have a slight problem though, okay? This now, area right here, if it's subject to a lot of stress, will bend and slowly break over time. That is a problem. We need to put some stress reliever here so that the bending actually occurs out here, to this end, not up right next to the connector, okay? We need it bending out here, especially when we're talking about cables that are going to be moved around, stuff like that I intend these for. Very, very important. Stationary ones, okay, maybe you can get away with it, but I still like to have the extra protection. Plus, when we're going to put what I'm going to put on here, it also prevents other possible corrosion entry so it can't get into the jacket or into the lug we just put on and start somehow getting up there, even without oxidation compound, right? We're going to really, really protect this. Now, if I was making a UL listed cable, all right, I'd be using this, all right? This is a heat shrink tubing. It's got glue inside of it, and this stuff shrinks 4:1. It's pretty amazing. It's got a huge wire range. This one goes from number 8 gauge down to 1/0. Really good wire range. I got stuff for bigger stuff too, which we'll show later. But this is the one that would fit this cable. That's my example at least. You cut it off and get the size you want. There you go. And get a heat gun out and go, and there's stuff. And it's UL listed. This stuff is also ridiculously expensive. Not cheap at all, okay? That's why if you're going to have solar systems that are, for your house and they're inspected and all that, and you're going to be making things, like the lugs are UL listed, but my wire ain't. I need UL listed wire, UL listed lugs, UL listed this, and so on and so forth. Regulations, what can I say, right? But this stuff's also really thick, really heavy duty, and at certain other duty cycles, I would use this even if not making UL listed cables, okay? But for what I'm after, I'm going to use something different from one of the automotive style kits that works really well. Let me get it. All right, here we go. Piece of heat shrink. Ooh, amazing, right? This will work just fine. It shrinks up real good and will provide a good stress relief. It also has glue on the inside to seal out water and contaminants. It's like that. This one shrinks 2:1. Okay, it's got a smaller range, so it's not as big going to such a small diameter and so on and so forth. That's what it is. So you got to pick it appropriately. But this stuff works well. You can find it at auto stores, so like that. But you're looking for the ones that are dual wall lined with glue. Hopefully I said all that right. Cut a piece I want. And we get it on the cable. Just carefully slide it down. Bring it up to our lug. And get this lined up in place. All right, I got it where I want it. So it's right there. Okay, now it's just time for a heat gun. We're gonna get this engaged. As soon as I find my heat gun, oh, there it is. All right, now I'm gonna make some noise Sorry, everyone. Now we got the cable all heat shrinked. You can see what it looks like. Okay. Now when we try to bend it, bends more on the out versus the in, right? It's providing what I wanted. This sort of protective area right around here where the cable's more prone to breakage and stress. That's really important. The other thing is with the glue inside, this thing really protects it from water and other contaminants. Well, my new friend Asher's come up to enjoy the part of the video making process, and thankfully, we're done. I hope this was educational. I hope it got you some thinking, and you can see what you're asking for. You want us to find out is the heat shrink tubing on there strong and durable so it prevents breakage? Does it have a glue inside of it to prevent contaminants from getting inside your cables? Are the cables have an anti-oxidizing compound before they're crushed inside of a lug? What kind of a lug are they using, and how is the crimp made? A lot to that to make a really good, long-lasting product that can last decades. And I'm all for something lasting decades or even hundreds of years. Take care, everyone. This is Reed, out for now.